So let me ask you this question here. If all right, now you chose North Hollywood. What made you think about North Hollywood versus? Well, you already told me about Vegas, but what made you choose North Hollywood out of all the states? Why California?
I wanted to live in California, and North Hollywood is the most affordable. The cheapest I could find in California is $2,000 a month for a studio.
Now, is that comparable to Minnesota?
No.
So it's much more.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know where they have studios here in Minnesota anymore, but no apartment building that's being made nowadays is being made with studios. But you would think I pay about $1,060 for a one bedroom here in Minnesota, in Minneapolis.
Okay, and now another thing. Now,
so that's $2,000 for a studio.
Okay,
and that's as cheap as I could find. And I wasn't worried about neighborhoods or anything like that because I'm 41 years old. I'm not running around anywhere dealing with nobody. I know that no matter where you live, if you keep to yourself, you should be all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, versus North Hollywood,
I don't know anything about North Hollywood. I didn't pick North Hollywood. It picked me. It was just the cheapest. When I went to apartmentsearch.com and just went to California and just hit cheapest, lowest, and that's what popped up.
Now, what about this California thing? What made you pick California out of all places?
I always wanted to live in California, and I'm done up here. You know, I'm finished up here in Minnesota. Unfortunately, my grandma passed, which was the main reason I came back. I'm done. It's over.
Okay, so you were in Colorado before she passed.
I was in Colorado for 4.5 years.
Okay, and you in Colorado, that's definitely not a place that you would want to go back to either.
No. Yeah, I mean, yes and no. No, because of just because I've been there. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. You know, and to continue on this journey that's called life, I don't know how you're going to grow going backwards. You know what I mean? There ain't really, in the 4.5 years I lived in Colorado, man, hey, Colorado knows me and I know Colorado very well. I was around, you know what I mean? I got around pretty well and I enjoyed my time there. I have nothing but great things to say about Colorado. I transformed as a human being living there, but I'm good. It's very expensive, and if I'm gonna do expensive, I might as well just take it to California.
Might as well go to California.
I'm gonna take my truck, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pay a whole year's rent. You know, because it's hard when you move somewhere and you say, "Well, I don't have a job, but rent to me." You know, there's too many people trying to do that, to be honest with you. You know, you come at them with, "Hey, I got all the rent right here. My rental history is good. My credit score is good. I own these businesses. It's going to take me a couple months to get everything established up here, so I'm just going to pay all my shit right now."
So if you have people to drive your trucks and do the same work that you did here, like when you mentioned Sam's Club and all that, you're probably going to be able to find...
Sam's Club ain't got nothing to do with the truck.
Okay.
Sam's Club is my restoration company. That's where we remodel and we restore things.
Now, when you do that down there, is that your goal?
Yeah, that takes time, bro, to get established and meet people and, you know, tell them, "Hey, I'll come in and we'll do this and this," and then to meet workers to come in and, you know, all that takes time, you know.
So you're willing to invest that time?
What's that?
So you're willing to invest that time, start off fresh with the trucks and
of course. I'm taking my trucks that I own here, I'm taking them with me. Okay. So with my trucks, all I got to do is find drivers. But then, you know, it just takes time to do that. And by paying your rent in advance, you give yourself some wiggle room.
Okay. What would
now
be... Go ahead.
You look at it like I got a year to get established, which means I don't have to find cornball drivers. which means when you're trying to get contracts to come in and do remodeling work somewhere, you don't want to just walk in and start telling people that. You want to kind of meet people first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You meet people, you start mulling around, you start meeting people, and you go, oh, by the way, I can do this, I can do that, but all that takes time. So if you move somewhere and you don't have, you're staying at some extended stay, that's probably in California would probably be about like $3-4 a month. And now you're rushing. You want to find drivers, you got to do this, and then you're going to find cornball ass people, and you're going to be chasing your tail. That ain't the proper way to move. And once you move somewhere, and everybody, when they think about moving somewhere, they get caught up in the cost of living, right?
Right.
But what they don't take into account is that cost of living only matters until you get into the economy of that state. So if you live in New York City, for instance, California, for instance, you're working in California. So if you work at McDonald's, you're making $25. The same portion of your paycheck here in Minnesota that goes towards bills and this and that is going to be there too. You got to take into account you're going to make a lot more money. So it's the same. If 30% of DP's checks go towards bills, it would be the same thing in California.
You're just making more.
Yeah, you're not making Minnesota money either. McDonald's probably I know 20 years ago. 23 years ago, when I went to Baltimore, they were making $18 an hour back then at McDonald's.
Wow, I didn't know it that much down there.
Yeah, their McDonald's workers in Baltimore wear sweatshirt or business shirts and ties.
I had no idea in Baltimore.
So you got to think, now in Baltimore, you probably make $20-some, $25. You should go look up what's minimum wage in California. What is that? What is McDonald's starting at? I bet you McDonald's is starting in the 20s. So you're making more. So if my rent is going to be $2,000 a month, I'm probably making $1,000.
You're right. Yeah, it says California loses almost 10,000 fast food jobs after $20 minimum. Gavin Newsom signed the California Assembly Bill 1287. $20 an hour minimum wage, fast food, April 24th, 2024.
So if you got experience, you're going to make more than the 20. The 20 is just the lowest, you know what I mean? That's minimum wage. Very few people that work somewhere make minimum. If you have experience,
speaking of which,
you're going to make $23, $24.
Speaking of which, I'm looking here. California minimum wage law has led some employers to cut hours and hike prices.
You put people part-time so they don't have to get benefits on top of that.
Yeah, it says last December, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill mandating a $20 minimum wage for fast food workers. The new wage, this is from the 10th. The new wage is among the highest in the county, surpassing even Washington, D.C. $17.50 minimum wage. While supporters touted the wage increase as a way to help struggling Californians, detractors warned that the restaurant owners would respond by laying off workers, cutting their hours, or speeding up the already starting shift to automation. Now, another article I'm looking at here by the New York Post, you have Wendy's Jersey Mike's franchise owners slash hours and jobs to offset labor costs from California's new $20 minimum wage. Wow. They talking about Orange County.
Bro, they some cooks too. I mean, you got to think these businesses. You own the business, so you was paying people. One day, your employees make $9 an hour. Well, now guess what? Now you got to pay DP all your workers $20 an hour. Whoa, what do you mean? Yep, all your workers got to make $20 an hour now. What you gonna do?
I'm at to cut hours.
Y'all gonna have to go.
Yeah, I'm at to cut hours. So
I'm gonna have to cut some hours. I'm gonna have to do something. I can't pay that. I can't even be paying. So you got to think, if you work at McDonald's, you're making $200 a day before tax. say you guys say you making $25 an hour for 8 hours. That's $200 a day. That's $1,400 a week before taxes.
Right.
So that, let's just say that's $1,000 a week. That's $4,000 a month, and your rent's $2,000.
Right.
You can do that, right? That's not daunting anymore. Am I right?
Right. You're right.
So what about you got a little sense, and you can do a little something more than a McDonald's. Now you're in the $31 an hour. So you're clearing, you know what I mean? You're clearing $1,000 a week. So therefore, the infrastructure of California is not daunting because you're there.
Let me
now,
ask.
If you're trying to move, now you want to move somewhere like San Francisco where the whole state is expensive, then that's a different story.
I got one other question. We're actually two other real quick questions, and we'll wrap it up.
Yep.
How long did it take you to build your business to where it was where you felt comfortable? What year did you start feeling like, okay, I'm coasting?
This year, 2014, maybe. Coasting, like.
Coasting,
like it's just.
It's just steady. Like you're like, okay, I'm,
This year, towards the end of last year.
Okay. So those past 10 years, you had been building it up.
I wasn't in business for 10 years.
5?
I've been in business 2018.
Okay, so that's when you started it.
Yeah, that's when I opened my restoration company. And then the trucking came in 2020. And those are my two profitable businesses. Well, I own real estate, but that's his own thing. When you deal with Flint, Michigan, and East St. Louis, you got to understand that the rent there is different. You're talking about cost of living out in East St. Louis, Flint, Michigan, 4-bedroom house, you getting $350, $400.
So you got to have several properties if you really want to see something pan out like how you want it.
Yep. Yeah, and I own vending machines too in Flint. They don't make their vending machines are like the old school ones here in Minnesota. Remember how it used to be 25 cent, 50 cent?
Right.
That's their vending machines are 50 cent. So that's kind of income. That's just passive income, you know. I mean, looking back on it, I probably wouldn't have even dealt with it, to be honest with you. Because you can get a house right now in Flint, Saginaw area for under 10 grand.
And
put about 3-4 grand worth of work in it, 5 grand worth of work in it. Rent that bitch out. If you really want to do it, you can put it into Section 8. It really helps some black families out.
Now, if you was a young black male in Minnesota, 18, 19, 20 years old in the current economic condition that we're in right now, my final question, and I'll close it out. What would be your advice for him in starting a business? Would you tell him, hey man, go down here to MCTC or go ahead and get you an LLC and get it out the mud and start something?
Well, excuse me, I just hit this blunt. Give me a second.
All right.
Well, the first thing I would tell him is what I would tell everybody: business is not for everybody. And going into business with people is not for everybody. And I would tell you that if you were 18 years old, 19 years old, wanted to get into business, I would say, what's your talent? And invest in that. Oh, you can paint. Oh, you can lay carpet. Oh, you can do this. You can do that. Well, slap your name, that talent, and LLC behind it, and pay the money and go into business for yourself.
Now, what if he says, I don't have no talent, I rap?
Everybody has talent. You're a rapper? Well, I say good luck.
I'm a
You know what I mean?
rapper.
I don't know. I wouldn't. If somebody told me now that in today's era, 2024, if they told me they were a rapper, I probably wouldn't. Like, that's all they do? Is they rap? That's it? Like, are you doing shows? Are you out there? No. Oh, it's equivalent to being jobless.
Yeah, I'm a rapper. I want to spit you a few bars. I don't have a record yet. I don't hit the studio. I haven't done no shows. And you know, but I want to start a business. I want to. Yeah.
I would tell you a lost soul, but there's a hidden knowledge in America. America is not free use for school. You know what I mean? When it comes to schooling and information and knowledge, you have to gain that shit yourself. So just because you're a kid walking around with no talent doesn't mean these schools aren't going to pass you. Little Jimmy is a little different story. Little Troy Crouch, he had it harder than us. And people don't see it that way. He had because he was dumb and white. Troy Crouch was the first of the poor, ignorant, apart kind of white motherfuckers, right? And he got it bad. It still gets it bad. Troy Crouch used to do work for me.
What happened to him?
He's in jail.
For stealing?
Nah. Checks, writing checks.
Oh man.
He had this thing, I don't know, he was trying to explain it to me, but I told him, man, keep that shit away from me. Some kind of what is this, dark web?
Oh, dark web. Okay, yeah, frauding it on the internet and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, he was very confident because he was working at Moto Mart over there on Hiawatha.
Okay.
He was working over there and he was telling me about when people would come in with their credit cards, he had a way of doing something with it. You know, I wasn't trying to hear too much about it. There was a time in my life where I would have been interested, but I wasn't trying to hear about it. But I guess he got pinched. His brother, Colin, you remember him?
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, he was telling me about it. He's a bum, too. Troy Crouch. But what I was alluding to is that those are the guys that really have it hard. You know, but a guy like, they're given the knowledge and they didn't use it, is what I mean to say. Guys like me and you, we didn't know what the fucking credit score was until we was trying to buy a house. What is that? I don't know what the fuck this credit score shit. What is this shit? All you need. And somebody told me and you when we was 13 or 14, damn 3 digits is the most important thing you got. That's all we'd have been obsessed about.
Oh yeah.
They never told us that shit. But guys like the guys like Troy Crouch, they got that knowledge and didn't use it. So white America forgets about them motherfuckers. They punish them. I remember Troy Crouch, they sent him home from school because he smelled so bad.
I
you remember this?
Yeah, man.
That's unheard of.
He lived directly next to me. He lived right next to me, bro. We used to have to deal with it.
I keep forgetting that, but yeah, he lived right next to you. Yeah, I know. I remember it now.
Yeah,
but think about it though. He wasn't the only kid that smelled like ass.
But he was, it was. I can't even explain how it smelled. I know my listeners sitting back thinking like, damn, how bad could it have been? You act like you was in a morgue. Man, listen.
What about as an adult?
I hadn't seen him. I hadn't seen him in 10 years. I ain't seen him. Yeah, I didn't see him. The last time I seen him, we was probably maybe 11 years old, 8, 7, 5, 7, 8, 9 years old, and I could never. And they had to get removed because I think it was a public safety hazard.
Public housing probably removed them for not keeping their place up to code. You have to keep it up to
It was
code.
beyond code. It was literally worse than a third world country up in there, and I'm surprised we didn't have roaches. My mom used to keep a clean house, but it used to smell so bad when you used to go outside. You couldn't smell it through the walls, but he used to go outside. Because I remember his older brothers, my dad used to have like little things where he'd do like day labor and stuff like that, and he used to bring the boys and try to put some money in their pocket. Because their dad, he was like a drunk. He'd sit around with the beers. They'd be arguing. I mean, it was literally like Ed Bundy, but on meth. Almost like that. But they didn't use meth. I don't know what they did. But this, when you think of the epitome of white trash, this was one of the more sadder stories that you would see out of like a horror movie. Like their furniture was just, I mean, it was, put it like this, the worst black person in the ghetto. I'm talking about the worst project. They could say Section 8 Negro, whatever. It was 15 times worse than that. It was one of the worst. And when you would go outside your house and walk past, you would smell their house. And they kept the door open. You know, most people have a screen door. They keep it closed. No, they keep it open.
Yeah, they need air.
They keep it open. I mean, it was terrible. Like, I went in their house one time. My dad told me, like, man, I don't want you over there no more. It was filthy.
But see, Troy, if I needed, he was my toilet guy.
Okay.
If man, I remember this one couple, they called me, they sent me a picture of their toilet, man. It had to be shit compacted on that motherfucker. He said, you can't sit. I said, I got the guy, don't worry. Troy went in, he didn't give a fuck.
Jeez.
He was, hey man, Troy, he would work for cheap. And then he kind of had this, you know, he kind of embellished our relationship with people and act like we was childhood friends and
oh,
shit.
Man.
You know, I would play into it, though, because he would do work for real cheap. You know, I really miss that motherfucker, man. I think he did 6 years. That's what his brother told me. His brother smelled like ass, too.
To this day.
Yeah, and there's families like that. It starts from the mom and dad.
Yeah, everybody was like that. Everybody like that.
When you see a motherfucker dude that smells like ass, you be like, man, who the fuck would ever date him? Another motherfucker that smells like ass. And then guess what they do?
Yeah.
They produce children.
Oh, gosh.
Both smell like ass. Because mom and dad don't shower. So mom and dad don't shower. I'm sure they're not going to be forcing it on the kid.
Oh, yeah. They, man.
That's how you get generational must. I call it. You know what I mean? Generational must. That's how it happens, bro. Generational must. Like, I've seen Troy's kids. They smell like, they look like, they got fucking flies in their hair and shit.
Oh, my gosh. I didn't know they had kids. Lord.
Yeah, he got kids, man. He got kids from a girl that went to Sullivan. Yeah, what was his name? White girl had a sister. Another, like, trailer park kind of white girl. Man, what was her name? You'll know her, too. If I said her name, you would know her instantly. It was two white. They were sisters.
Oh, gosh.
I'll think of it. But yeah, man, his kids, and guess what? They're going to have kids that smell like ass. It's generational must. Yeah, that's a part of it. It's a real big part of it, but it goes to show you how when you're taught the game by white America and you don't act upon it, they get mad at you because they look at it like, all you bummy ass whites. If we had y'all, we'd really have this shit. The same way I told you how Obama really hurt black people's credibility.
Yeah.
To the point where Coons, there was a time, DP, and you don't know this, where Coons, man, they wasn't sticking their chest out and doing all these speeches and all.
No, you couldn't. It wasn't the same. Like, now you got social media. You could start cooning and nobody could touch you. Back then, man, you remember, even with the bus, if you talking shit on the bus talking about you gonna do this and that, somebody had to see you. You had to go to the, you got to think.
I don't remember any coons really that would. I remember coons, but they never had the guts to
No,
say
they didn't have a voice. If you was a coon, if you was a lame ass hoe ass nigga, you didn't really have much of a voice. You didn't.
Obama turned his back on Black America like he did. Double agent. They gave coons. That Senator McConnell, is that who it was who said that? Go ask Obama.
Yeah.
Hurt your credibility. He's not the only politician. Anytime a black came at a politician with some real facts, why aren't y'all doing this? Oh, well, you had Obama for 8 fucking years. Why are you asking me? What is that? Hurts credibility. So here come the coons now. And like I said, watch it. You started when you watch TV and you're hearing the conversation turn to African Americans, you're hearing coons. You're hearing AKA the black conservatives. That's who's all over TV. Did you see the clip I sent you? The photo of Candace and Kanye with the White Lives Matter shirt?
Right, yeah.
You might have slapped the fuck out of both of them, especially Kanye. But you know what? I'll give Kanye a pass because I think he's sick. You know, I think he might have some sort of mental health.
But Candace knows what she was doing. She was getting paid by. She was hooked up with the Turner Point USA.
I'm telling y'all that, man. All these Barbados motherfuckers, man. No. I'm sorry, bro. Motherfuckers from the island was from the island. Joe Holton never told you he was black.
Yeah,
from the island.
No, he didn't.
Island.
Yeah, he didn't.
I never said I'm black.
Yeah.
Who else did you know growing up that went to school with us that was Jamaican or whatever? Pagan, you remember him?
He was from Jamaica.
Yeah, did he say he was black? Remember, I'm Jamaican. I'm black. I'm Jamaican.
You know, you know what? I remember that. Yeah, he made it his business. I remember that. I'll never forget that. He made it his business to let it be known. Cause I'd be like, hey, you a brother? You be like, he let me know. No, I'm not. Damn, yeah, damn. I never thought about that, bro.
I'm not black. I give Ozbu his credit. Ozbu, you know, he comes from the #1 Eritrean family, so he could never coon. To that, you know what I mean? I don't know about him joining the military. That's a different. I don't know about that. But as far as the Ozbu name, that's #1 for Eritrea. So he always, Tariq always represented Eritrea. I give him his credit for that. Of course, me, always. Abe, I gotta give him his credit. Abe never cool.
Yeah, he didn't.
John G, I don't know. John G, I'm sorry. I gotta call him out. Gotta call him out for that coonery. You know what I mean? Got to. Tiffany Haddish, you see her? She represents Eritrea.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep, always. Swiss Beats, gotta call him out.
I didn't know he was Eritrean.
You see, why would you not know that? You know Nipsey Hussle was because he told you. You knew Tiffany Haddish was because she let you know. Tiffany Haddish had the Eritrean dress. Tiffany Haddish been out there 3 times.
Yeah, when I first seen seen Tiffany, you know, I thought she was just a sister of South Central. I didn't know she was from there. And then she started talking about it. Maybe she found out, or I don't know. But
her dad, she didn't grow up with her dad. Actually, her dad tried to kill her and her mom.
Damn.
So she didn't grow up with them, but she probably got aunts or whatever that are out, you know, that are out there that live in California. Because Eritreans in California, man, they banging. They're niggas out there.
Oh, yeah,
they're into the game. It's not like here, you know. Here, Eritreans are peaceful. Out there, man, they're into the gang life, you know, and real gang life, not this bullshit out here. To me, this ain't no real game.
Yeah, you know, I had
no structure or discipline to any of this.
Yeah, I had a buddy, and I'll tell you a real quick story before I go. I had a buddy that was showing me some stuff. He was like, basically, he said that he went out there for the Nip Hussle funeral, and he was telling me about how. And I asked him, I said, what was like the vibe? And he said, man, that shit was just like Colors. I said, you remember that old movie Colors we used to watch in Boys in the Hood? He said it was literally just like it. He said, like when we see the movie, and I said, well, how real, how close was it? He said, the movies don't do any justice. He said down there they still got the old cop cars like the Caprice Class. I said a Caprice Class. He said, man, they got old. It's still like. He said that it's like back in the day. He said if you live in one neighborhood, you can't go to that gas station. It might be 2 blocks down. You can't go there. He said when everybody was paying their respect to Nip, he said you had dudes from other sets like Inglewood families and stuff that said they hadn't been in the Rolling 60s for 20, 30 years. Like he said, I've never been on. He said I might have came by here 20 something years ago. It's that serious that they cannot go. They have to stay where they're at, depending upon what set it is. And so then he told me that, you know, the number one killer of Crips out there is Crips. It's not what, you know, how we thought, oh, it's just Bloods and Crips. No, it's not. It's not just based on whether you're a Blood or a Crip. It's based on what neighborhood is into it with one neighborhood. Like you talked about in Eritrea, well, this tribe has an issue with this tribe in this area. You might be from one gang and you never have contact with this one on the other side of the city. You just don't really come in contact with each other, so you don't really have a problem, you know. So, you know, and you're not gonna really go over there either. You're not, like when you said, well, what if they wear a different color? They're not really gonna go. They don't have a reason to go unless you got family. You know, if you got family that's over there, well, that's your family. That's your cousins or that's your auntie. So when you go over there, they might know, oh, well, he's from over there. Okay, well, wherever you're from, that's wherever your address, that's your set. You know, that's where you're from. So they assume if that's where you are, if that's where you live, then you're associated with that set. Because if something happens to you, they'll say, oh, well, who did it? Oh, well, this neighborhood, okay, that's them over there, you know. So, but he told me, he said, man, that stuff, he said, they follow it so deeply that he said it's just dangerous as hell. He said it's just dangerous as hell. But he told me there was,
ignorant as well.
Yeah, and I asked him, I said, do you think the government had something to do with setting all of this up? He said, absolutely. He said, you know, they spent a lot of time thinking about how they were going to do it. Once they were able to get rid of the black leaders and all of those folks, they said, all right, well, you know, maybe we could wipe these Negroes out. If we can't, just put them in jail. And then, you know, 3 strikes, 94 crime bill, 1986 crime bill, whatever we could do, you know, if we can't get rid of them, we could just give them a life sentence. So California is a big Texas, big prison.
Generational suppression.
Generational suppression, yeah. So
you know, when you what are 2 broke motherfuckers gonna do? Commit crime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you force people to be broke, hey, you get 2 broke motherfuckers in a room. First thing they gonna talk about is who can we rob?
Well, Crouch.
How can we come up?
You mentioned Crouch. You said, okay, bad checks. They've had
bad checks, man. He had this thing, the dark. I don't know too much about this dark web shit, but he was saying, man, you can do a whole lot. I said, all right, man, I hope it works for you, Troy, but don't mix me with it.
He would have been better off leaving that alone to get staying with you and taking a bath and getting a suit and tie. He was a white man in Minnesota, as he squandered his whiteness in Minnesota. He really squandered his whiteness, and his parents are the reason why, you know, and it's unfortunate, you know, but if he's doing time, I mean, man.
Yeah, he fucked up. And he got a kid too. He got 2 kids.
And he's doing prison time?
Yeah.
You know
he wasn't getting.
I'm gonna look him up.
He wasn't ordering Devani's every night. You know, he was doing a lot more than that.
I'm about to see where he's at. All right, let's see here. He says last name's Crouch.
Yep.
Cause I ain't seen him in a minute. I hate to look him up in something like this, but
he's missing his hair in the front.
All right, let's see. Let me see if I can see where he's at. Nah, I don't see him in here.
Where are you looking? At Hennepin County?
No. Like, is it county jail or prison?
Prison.
Okay, so he's in prison. I ain't seen him in a long time. I'm just wondering. I ain't seen him in a minute, so I'm trying to see.
His face looks pretty much the same, but he's missing his hair in the front and the top, and he tries to comb it over.
Let me see here. No, I'm still not seeing this. Hold on.
Crouch, I think. Crouch, or is it CR? Is there a T?
Let me just type in Troy. Cause like I said, I haven't seen this dude since we was kids, and I remember he used to act real tough. But then we went. Let me see, Troy Adams.
He lived where Colin and Clarissa lived, right?
Yeah.
They moved in after him.
I think no, they had one. They had one. They were one down from him.
Oh, so he was where in Josh's view. Josh was at the end.
He was at the end, but Troy was right next door to us at one point in time. Yeah, I'm not
How's
seeing.
Josh doing?
He's good, man. He's
driving the truck.
Yep, he's doing real good and stuff, man. So, yep, everybody. You know what? Everybody's doing pretty good, man. Everybody that we know, for the most part. I mean, there's been, the people that I've seen. Yeah, I don't know. He probably got a fake name or something. I don't see him. He probably
You're on the website that can find everybody in jail?
Yeah, the Minnesota Department of Corrections.
Let me get the correct spelling of his name, and then I'll get it to you. I can call his brother.
Okay, well, I was just curious, man. I was like, damn, you done did years.
I just called him his brother, and I can get the info for you. Who you ever run into? What's his name? Mario.
Man, I seen him. Or no, I haven't seen him. No, the last time I seen him, when I still stayed in River Bluff, and he was coming down getting mixtapes and stuff from me. But I remember you told me that you seen him like
that's a long time ago.
Yeah,
man.
A long time ago. And I remember he was
like 2 years ago.
Yeah, you told me.
Or you was out the mall, right on the side where they have that new bus stop. Man, drunk.
The Mall of America.
Yeah, in the park, in the bus area.
Damn, that's sad, man.
They had a bottle of wine. It was about 9:00 at night.
Damn. Yeah, I remember he used to be drawing pictures. He was talented at drawing the pictures, but I guess I couldn't really see him getting himself together, man. He just kind of,
Yeah, I seen Heather the other day at Cuff Foods yesterday.
Oh, okay. What was she on?
She was kind of far away. I didn't say anything to her. We weren't close, but I seen her from a glance. I haven't talked to her in like 20 years.
Yeah, man. There's been people that...
John, did I tell you about John? He had this little bullshit-ass GoFundMe. My mom showed it to me. Because I'm not on social media. She was like, look at John. He's got this scam on Facebook. He came up with some disease. And he said he needs $10,000.
Oh, hell no.
My mom was like, why didn't he just get insurance? What the fuck you need 10 grand for? Well, he got it though. He came up with this. American is your trust in Joe Biden's mental capacity. Do you have any?
No, you can't. You can't.
Now take politics aside and just mental capacity to run the day-to-day operations of presidency for the next 4 years. You're saying you have no confidence.
Very little.
I have zero. I have zero confidence that he even knows what's going on a day-to-day basis. Because the thing with dementia is, it doesn't just go. It comes and goes. So you have good days and real bad days, and you have good moments and bad moments. There's no way how, in one setting, you call the president of Ukraine, you call him Putin, the guy who's killing everybody in this country. Okay, then you call Donald Trump the vice president. You're lost, man. This guy's lost. But here's the thing. Democratic Party needs to be smart. If I was running the Democratic Party right now, I'm taking this law. I'm not bringing another candidate in to get their reputation tainted. I'm going to build up another candidate in these next 4 years, and I'm going to let Joe Biden just take this loss.
Because
it don't matter.
Biden says pray for Trump. He said it's sick.
Biden praying for him?
Biden says this is no place in America for this kind of violence. He said we have to reunite this country.
Start with him. He's been in office for 4 years. What reuniting has he done?
Yeah, he hasn't been doing too much.
Not only that, I mean, 9 times out of 10, you would have to assume that this is a Biden supporter.
Then it looks like Biden was grilled. Complete disaster. Biden's grilled intense call with moderate Dems. They said Biden They said Biden particularly got animated towards a question from Representative Jason Crow about slipping public confidence in his leadership as commander-in-chief, according to several members in the meeting. Somebody said it was a complete disaster. We saw the same Joe Biden from the debate. It was awful, said another lawmaker. Then another person said members were not holding back. It got tense with Crow for sure.
They're ready for him to go, but here's the thing. He said, George Clooney, he said he could run laps faster than George Clooney. He said he's in better physical condition than George Clooney is right now. But ain't nobody talking about physical. We talking about mental, first of all.
Right. Yeah.
Second of all, it's like this. Democrats could have had him out a long time ago. The real question right now is, what are we going to do if we get Biden out of here? Are we going to let Kamala run? If we let Kamala run, are we throwing her into the wolves for no reason when we could just take her back and we could rebrand her in these next 4 years? Or you could just say, fuck her, and we could go build up someone else. Or do we let Kamala run against RFK Jr.? And then whoever wins that gets to go against Trump. Do we have enough time to establish another candidate? See, These are all things that if it was just about getting rid of Biden, that could have happened the next day. Because all they got to do is pull the money. Who's paying for them jets? How much is that? Jets to go to every speaking arrangement, hotels, booking those rooms, paying all those workers. That's at least $2-3 million a week for the next 4 months. So you're talking, man, close to $50 million. Where's all that coming from?
Yeah, it's a wrap. Because look, even the American people don't even want to stay in. But look, let's look over the next few days and let's revisit this in sometime this week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna edit this up and I'll send you the link.
You got it, buddy.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right, you too.
Peace.